10:07 a.m. with my buddy Jon.
What up?
We're gonna go pick up LuciousT and Miketendo from Denver International Airport. Kind of a gray, grizzly day, but hey, it's autumn. That's pretty awesome. It's the day before Halloween. So we're gonna go ahead pick those guys up, pick up Dan from Mile High Game Hunters, and do a whole day of game hunting. Should be pretty awesome.
So LuciousT and Miketendo are flying in for our buddy Donovan's wedding and sort of a multi-tap reunion. Now, I've known these guys for a few years through the internet, through YouTube, but I've never met them in person until now.
So pretty convenient that Lucius and Tendo, their flights came in pretty much like 8 minutes apart. Well, at least I got the text 8 minutes apart. Pretty sweet.
So it's always a little odd meeting people that you've only met on the internet because you're not quite sure what to expect, what it's going to be like, actually seeing someone in person and not having the safety of your screen in front of you. But I wasn't too concerned. Walking into the airport, I saw Wes, and I knew he'd be taller than me, but I just didn't expect him to be that much taller than me.
Well, dude, what's going on, brother? Oh, man. Nice to meet you in person.
It's good to see the guy. I've been talking to him for so long now, but actually freaking give him a bro hug was great. So he was exactly what I expected. Chill as shit. And then freaking Miketendo coming in from the airport, first coming in. I was looking for him.
I hear like Wes's voice go, Tendo! And I look over and that was a really bad Wes impersonation. So I turn and I look over to my left and there's Wes and Luke. And you know, it's weird. I thought Luke was going to be taller than Wes, but Wes was taller than Luke by a little bit. Luke was shorter than I thought he would be. Luke, Lucius, whatever you want to call him. And, you know, we just came in, big old bear hug. I mean, I've known these guys for, 3 years. And we've been consistently friends and consistently chatting online. We've been members of the group Multitapped, and it was just really good to I mean, we've chatted via video chat before, and I see their videos all the time because I'm subscribed to them and everything. But it was cool because you got to meet somebody that you didn't really like, somebody that you'd never met personally, face to face. But at the same time, somebody that you have talked to on a fairly consistent basis online.
You'll know there'll be 3 areas that go down into the ground and have this and that. It's just, the placement's different.
I feel like you're writing your review as you
I know,
speak.
dude. I know, it's like watching a Lucius video. It's time for some Lucius metrics.
Metrics. Sears fatigue. Exponentially great.
Now, before we hit up any shops, we're going to go ahead and pick up Dan from the Mile High Game Hunters.
Honestly, because I've only ever heard these guys talking on Wes's streams, when I first got into the van, I was kind of confused as to who was who for a little bit. The driver, who was like an old school friend of Wes's, I'm trying to figure out, does this guy have a YouTube channel? What's his YouTube channel?
So meeting Dan from Mile High Club was cool. He had a beard, so I definitely felt like I fit in because I had a full beard going on. Although I called him the Mile High Game Club instead of the Mile High Game Hunters. So I'm not sure if he didn't like that. I mean, I watched his show religiously, but yeah.
I've never played Mario 64.
I still played it.
You never played that?
No.
What?
You haven't played what?
Mario 64.
Really?
What the?
Now, Wes not playing Mario 64 just makes so much sense. I mean, I've always known he's had this unfounded hatred towards Nintendo.
I've had a hatred for Nintendo for a long time, dude. I wanted nothing to do with Mario.
All right, you were King fanboy here. You can study on it.
Except Mario Kart.
Mario 64 was really
Mario
good.
64 was really good.
It's not the best Mario, but it is, in my opinion.
No, that's Mario World.
It's the
Yes.
best 3D platformer probably still out there.
Not playing Mario 64 is one of the biggest sins you can do, because that shit is amazing. And I understand when the game came out, he was in his, he had to be in his late teenage years, maybe even in his 20s by then. I don't know. He's older than us by a little bit, but just not. I was shocked. It's hard to imagine anyone who calls himself a gamer, let alone a real gamer, wouldn't play Mario 64. Because hell, Jen's played Mario 64. Rewind Mike's played Mario 64, and we all know he's terrible at games.
It's hilarious when people who leave comments accuse me of being a Nintendo fanboy. They obviously haven't watched my videos.
Game Force Boulder as seen in GameSack. So I've never been here.
I've never been here.
I've never been here as well. Wow.
That makes
Go
the three
figure.
of us.
Have you been here?
Many times. Oh, snap.
Dude, Game Force Boulder was pretty phenomenal. That is one of the best game stores I've been to in a long time. The selection was out of this world. I mean, anything you wanted, they had. And they had in abundance, too.
Damn, this is what a game store should be.
There's very few of those in the world. You can't find that anywhere. The Mega Man 9 press kit. That's when the Mega Man 9 came out. They sent out. It's a fake cartridge in there and like a manual.
So you had something like physical,
but no actual game, and it's just in the vein of all the other ones.
Oh, they got Karate, dude. I'll take Karate Kid for $5. I never come across it, dude. So I'm gonna snag it.
I give it 5.
Whenever you
Damn you, Captain Algebra,
an anime over here.
encouraging me to get LJN games.
I think it was Miketendo that had requested a box of imported PlayStation games. So the guy obliged, brought it out, and apparently on top there was a modded PlayStation 1 that could play imports and burnt games.
$45 for US and Japanese.
Oh, you know, it's stupid how interested I am in this.
They had more strategy guides than I think I've ever seen at one place. Like, even going to conventions, I've never seen that many strategy guides at one place. And multiple copies of them, too.
Getting this.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
man.
it's complete. Like, it's got the
poster.
it's got the tips and tricks, so.
It was $5. It was complete. It had the map, and it had the poster on the inside, which had the featured Maximo and some of the babes from the game. So that was pretty cool.
Shameless plug time. I actually reviewed both Maximo games just a few months ago.
How much for this issue of?
Let me see.
So I spot over here on the counter a Nintendo Power that I actually owned when I was a kid. It had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the cover from the NES game, and I was interested.
I was looking for Monster House because Miketendo did a great video on it on the Game Boy. It looked like a Zelda clone, and me and Wes were looking for Monster House, but just couldn't find it, which is surprising.
There's quite a few.
Holy crap!
The best way to go through it is, in my opinion, is take a tub, just dump it out on the counter, make a mess, look through it, and then you scoop it back into the tub and go on to the next
idea.
one.
Now what I did find is I found a copy of the PAL version of The Fireman. Now The Fireman is a Super Famicom game that we never got. It's actually really fun. I think it would have done really well if it came out here, but it only came out in PAL version and Japan. And they have this copy of it that looks really nice, and it's super cheap for what this game should go for. Because I've seen the Fireman go usually around $70, $80, $90, and they have this one listed to $45. So already I'm a little suspicious about it. Something doesn't add up with this game, and the more I'm looking at the label, the less convinced I am that this is a legit label. The guy who ran the place, he self-admittedly didn't know anything about games, but he did know that this was a replicant label or reproduction label, not an actual one. So once I found that out, I had to put it down.
So this will all be for the buy 3 and you get.
Yeah, so normally that deal is only for the same system. It usually doesn't cross over platforms, so I'd be happy to bend that rule for you guys.
Thanks,
today.
man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting the Karate Kid on the NES, and then I got Lilo and Stitch 1 and 2 on the Game Boy Advance. Miketendo recommended them. I guess they're running gun shooters, so we'll see what they're all about. And I'm also trying out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on Game Boy Advance. Miketendo recommended this one as well, so I'm gonna take his word for it. So it'll be his fault if they are bad.
God, I cannot believe this son of a bitch gets a free Nintendo Power.
This is on the house. Nice to meet you.
Dude, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
sure.
that, dude. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So Wes had been negotiating with him before he made his final purchase, and he was asking about prices on stuff, and he eventually, the Nintendo Power was the Ninja Turtle one. I think it was for Turtles 2, the arcade game for the NES, like issue 30 or something like that. And so when he goes to the register and he is paying for stuff, he happens to mention that he's a YouTuber. I don't know if this is just another case of YouTubers getting stuff for free, but he's saying like, yeah, we're showing Miketendo and Lucius, we're showing them Colorado, showing them the good game stores, and I'm swear, within like 10 seconds of him telling this story, the guy walks over to the other counter where he left the Ninja Turtle Nintendo Power, puts it on the counter and says, here, you can have this. And the stupid son of a bitch gets a free Nintendo Power.
Thanks, it's always interesting to be around people that kind of know what they're looking at and know what to look for.
Oh,
you know,
sure,
part of that
man.
community.
Yeah,
So
we're just a big group of nerds here.
I want some free stuff. I didn't even get anything at the store. But no, he gets himself a Nintendo Power, and, you know, good for him. You know, not going to hate. He got a good deal. The guy hooked it up. So, yeah, Game Force Boulder. If you're in Colorado, you should check it out, because they'll give you a free Nintendo Power. Winky face.
So we were all getting pretty hungry, and conveniently just a couple doors down was Moe's Barbecue.
And the snow's starting to come down.
Yeah, it is. And I'll be a special snowflake. It's like Nintendo.
Looks like he's about to leave in her bed.
No, in October. Not cool, man. We
Yeah.
only had that once.
Dude, it snows here in October all the time, man.
Yeah.
I'm really up for anything, although I'm really not because I'm a picky fuck. But there's a Moe's Barbecue, and everyone's just kind of like, oh, you just want to go to Moe's Barbecue. And I'm not really feeling barbecue, honestly, but, you know, I didn't want to be that guy. At least not yet. We just all met each other.
Oh, it smells so good in here.
We walk in, we're looking at the menu. I see that they have they got a lot of sides. You know, it's actually starting to look pretty good. They got macaroni and cheese, potato salad, and all this. So I'm deciding I'm going to get the beef brisket. So the waitress by this point, the one at the counter's like, what the fuck's taking these guys so long? Like, we're not ordering. And Miketendo is the first person to order. And so he orders, I don't know, some hot links or the pulled pork sandwich, something like that.
The woman taking my order asked me if I wanted my food Bama style. What is Bama style?
I love you, Miketendo, but he's kind of that guy that will definitely not. He's going to make sure he gets what he wants, and he's going to make sure that the person gets it to them, and he's going to ask questions, and he's not ashamed to ask, like, to be that picky ass guy.
She's like, oh, it's like a creamy sauce or whatever, and I was like, no thanks.
I think he heard white sauce, and he heard white sauce, and he probably thought jizz, like the rest of us did, and he's like, no, I don't want Bama style.
What did you get, John?
I got the same as him, man.
Oh, all right. The Bama style?
Well, what is this white sauce? It's like, oh, it's like a ranch. It's a Chipotle ranch. Like, oh man, ranch? That sounds bomb. Red sauce? We mean like marinara sauce? No, barbecue sauce. Oh damn, ranch and barbecue sauce?
Damn right I got Bama style. She sold me.
Oh, and by the way, we're putting some onions on it, some pickled relish. That sounds fucking great.
I didn't really understand it, but I also kind of didn't really listen. I just heard Bama style and was like, ooh, no thanks.
You didn't go with the Bama style, huh?
Oh yeah.
I did not.
So, you know, the guys had to obviously tease me for not getting Bama style. I think Wes got it. I think everybody got it.
Nintendo didn't conform. Gotta be different.
I got pulled pork. What'd you guys get?
You didn't get the Bama style.
Oh, I didn't get the Bama style. I guess I'm just not Bama.
Not feeling adventurous.
No.
You're gonna regret that, dude.
Yeah.
We're all gonna be talking about our Bama memories. We'll have nostalgia 10 years from now.
That's right.
Remember when we all got the Bama style? then friggin' Nintendo was like, oh no, I can't. Oh, it's gonna be not good enough.
I'll be shaking my fist, ruining the day that I didn't get Bama style.
Yep, see, he'll be in the comments of this video being like, really messed up right there. I let that one slip between my fingers. Just like so many loose cartridges.
And for the rest of the trip, I heard about it. Trust me.
We're starting to go and saying, oh man, Bama style is great. Yeah, but Miketendo doesn't know what Bama style is. He's not good enough for Bama style, but Bama style, oh yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna get old pretty quick.
My LuciousT recommendation of eat it.
I'm not crazy. Institution.
Head east for 30th Street.
All right, well now we're headed out to the next game store and we're heading up into higher elevation and we're starting to get what Lucius came to see, snow. But what is he doing? What's he doing in the back seat? He's playing Dr. Mario on his Switch.
So what's the big deal? Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to look? Oh yeah, there's more suburbia that has rain in it. It's not like we were in the mountains or anything.
So now I'm taking these guys to a place called Game Fortress, where I first ran into it actually with Utah Punk when he came to visit Colorado for a little bit and made a video about that one. But I've been going back ever since. The guy who owns the place, he's really cool, he's really friendly, he cuts you deals. So I try to hit it up as often as I can and bring my buddies along. So we pull up and it's a few minutes before 3 and there's a sign on the door that says we'll return at 3:05.
3:05 rolls around and still no one's there. 3:10 rolls around, no one's there.
What are we doing? We're waiting around. We got a bunch of nerds in the car. Miketendo brought his SNES Classic and had to hook it up in the car.
Wes is calling the manager trying to figure out when he's going to be arriving, and talking to Luke, he had mentioned that this particular car, which he sells, that's his job, and he ended up saying that there was an HDMI port in it.
This is truly something I've been wanting to do for years.
Make my SNES Mini give me a lap dance.
Oh, you did not say SNES.
SNES!
Oh, no.
No, I actually usually say Super NES.
It's only Super NES.
Yes. Alright.
Not even SNES?
Alright, there you go.
I say SNES.
I say SNES all the time.
Yeah, dude.
SNES, Super Nintendo, but SNES, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So we hook it up, it works, it actually works, and we put on Contra, we're putting on Super Mario, all this Street Fighter. Of course, I'm not very good at Street Fighter 2. Miketendo kicks my ass, but whatever. I'm not good at that game.
You win.
Yeah, calm your damn hair.
Tenno's still strapped in, man. Fucking.
Yeah, why do I still have my seatbelt? I just realized that.
I actually called the guy ahead of time to let him know that we were coming today, but I don't know, we must have hit him up at lunch or tea time, who knows, but we were getting impatient. I called the store, got no answer, and man, we had places to go. We had very little time to get it done. We had to hit up a dinner later that night, so you know what, we just decided that we were gonna leave.
As we're driving out of the lot, he gets a phone call from the owner. And the owner's like, oh no, hold up, I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Alright, so Jay just called me back right when we were pulling out, says he's gonna be here in a few minutes. You better hook us up, man.
Just the bottom.
Dude, I've never seen this.
1, 2, 3, 4, all in the box. That was a lot deal.
Dude, I've never,
look at the,
never seen
the
this.
Sears one. That's the Atari. That's the Atari Junior.
Yeah.
That's I think it was the Sears one, but I don't see Junior.
I love mom and pop stores where they have a dog that's just like the store dog.
Probably the best part about the whole store is the guy's dog is freaking amazing. He just lays down in the middle of the store and doesn't even move. Like, you can fall down on this guy and he would just be like, "What's up, mate?"
The back room.
Just this pile of 2600 stuff here.
Anything good?
Done with.
Yeah, so the owner for Game Fortress, he's a really cool guy. He's really friendly. He lets you go behind the counter. He lets you sift through the back room.
Definitely get that. Just got a lot of here. Yeah.
Damn, Donkey Kong Jr. on the 2600? I didn't even know that existed. Man, when I was a kid on the ColecoVision, that was like my all-time favorite game.
An XI. This is the end of the model where it's an all-in-one Sega Genesis and Sega CD. Those are extremely rare.
It could either be an alien tanks or Earth tanks, and it was just a battle, online battle. It was so fun because it had voice chat and you could fuck with people.
That Narnia, that damn Narnia game, man.
I know, that thing's everywhere.
It's raining Narnias.
It's raining Narnias.
Hallelujah. So Miketendo just reviewed Monster House not too long ago. So I saw it, it was cheap, I snagged it.
We found one.
Did you?
Found a Monster House.
Go around.
Nice.
What?
Once you guys do make the rounds,
What'd he say?
Okay.
Cool.
You can go around?
I think so.
Oh.
Yes, I said that, yes.
All right.
Cool. Thank you.
Go around. You know, if I fall back here, I can sue you.
Whoa, whoa. Hello, sir.
Did you find one?
He found one.
This is probably the biggest group of nerds that I've gone shopping with at the same time, and it's pretty fun, I'll admit. This is pretty awesome.
I don't have the games for these.
Oh, you're getting Wild 9?
Yeah, I'm glad John picked up Wild 9. It's a pretty fun game. I actually reviewed it on my channel, and you know, it's a pretty fun game.
Dino Crisis.
I love that game.
Excellent game.
But for some reason, I've only beaten the second one.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even played the second one.
Second one's, it's good.
Yeah.
Completely different setting, not as creepy.
That's what I've heard.
It's definitely not as creepy. Yeah.
Action based. Missing. I mean, there's no holes.
There's one hole.
Is there? Not really. It's definitely, I don't know.
Not quite sure why you're complaining yet, guys. I didn't say anything yet, have I?
Oh, he doesn't want a game that doesn't work, even if it's free.
Ooh, that hurt.
So I ended up getting Monster House, Devil May Cry, or DMC for the PlayStation 3, Devil May Cry 4, Dino Crisis, and 5 NES sleeves, all for 25 bucks, man. That's a hell of a deal. So I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. This guy is really cool. I love coming to his store. So yeah, I'm happy. Freaking Nerdtendo, man. Now he's playing Castlevania 4 in the back of the car.
Kill yourself.
I did.
Castlevania made.
Dude, you haven't Castlevania? Yeah?
You know how Castlevania, you beat a level, and after you beat a level, you're in a car with 3 other gamers that are sitting there watching you play? You think you might have been like, hey, someone else want to play a turn? Anyone else want to play? Nope, not this guy. He tries to beat the whole damn game.
It was pretty awesome. I ended up beating it.
So now we're heading to the newest location of Level 7 Games, and it's a really spiffy store.
Yeah.
They have a good selection. They definitely had an area where they had some rare games like Cubivore, and I think they had a boxed Mega Man X3, but they knew what they went for. You weren't going to find anything to steal. No Monster House again. That's store 3 that doesn't have this freaking $5 game that supposedly is everywhere. Genghis Khan 2, Clan of the Grey Wolf, they had a copy of that for like $25, and I almost bought that just because of, you know, the Rue and the whole Clan of the Grey Wolf thing.
That's where Rue from 16-Bit Gems, they got their name. It's from that game.
Damn, that Ninja Gaiden's in excellent condition. It's only $10. Mine's in shitty condition.
Buy it and get the other one. Or I'll buy the other one for $5.
Wes finds himself a really clean labeled copy of Ninja Gaiden for the Nintendo. He's like, I already got it, but this one is in much better condition than mine. So I mentioned, cool, buy it. Then give me your old one.
Buy that.
You know what? I'll buy it. I'll buy it, and then I'll just give you mine for your birthday. That's what we'll do.
Like a Daikatana. That's just totally up to you, but
Dude, the Game
you
Boy
keep doing this stuff.
Nah, dude, it's all good, man.
Yeah. The only game that I really saw that I really wanted that they had, which, you know, I'm kind of on this Maximo kick thanks to Wes's reviews, that I recently rewatched, and he kind of convinced me to check out the game series again. And so I saw Maximo Army of Zin, and I almost bought it, but it was $15, and, you know, the price wasn't bad. It's just, like, it's what it was worth.
Who is Ernest Evans?
Yeah.
Why do you look like Indiana Jones?
Yeah. His name's like Colorado Smith.
It's like if Indiana Jones and Quap had a baby. You know, that game's Quap.
That's weird.
I've been looking for Trog.
Is that a boxed arcade?
Turtles? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking for Trog on the NES for a while now. It's a really fun 2-player game. It's something like, I don't know, Pac-Man that you can attack, where you got to pick up all the eggs, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's kind of an underrated game if you ask me. But I don't know, something happened to the cart here.
Someone really took it out on Trog, didn't they? Look at that.
Sharpening their blade.
Wow.
Savages.
I always want to know what the stories are. I kind of like the ones with a little more character to the cartridge. I feel like, you know, it has a story to tell.
Yeah.
Kid was teething.
Exactly. You know, perfect cartridges anymore are like a dime a dozen. It's when you find one that's got something really interesting engraved on it, like a pentagram or something.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah.
So we're all like getting together for a wedding, but he's from like Connecticut. The other guy, there's another guy over, who's Anderson, from San Francisco. We all have channels. Like we've all known each other for years, like just through our YouTube channels. But like this is the first time we ever like met.
Oh, this is the official.
Yeah.
meetup.
So I'm like showing them around.
Hell yeah. Are you from Denver? Or?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude. John, by the way. Thanks for bringing him here. Les?
Yeah,
Thanks, dude.
absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
All right, well now we're heading over to Doc's Video Games in Lakewood, and I actually have a Ninja Gaiden poster waiting for me, but unfortunately we didn't get the footage of it, but here it is. Yeah, it's really nice. Some dude had to custom make it, so I appreciate his hard work for it.
Video games? Hey Doc, I heard you got games.
Not getting all the games. Well, you caught me slipping on that monster hat. Yeah, that's true. Oh, you're not looking, you're buying. Well, Armando Eiffel.
This is actually where I found something. They had a copy of Blue Stinger on the Dreamcast for $10. Now, I don't know much about what the cost of Blue Stinger is, but at this point, it's the 4th store. We know we're not going anywhere else, and, you know, I can bite on this. And they also had a copy of Crystallis, and that's a game I've actually really wanted. I know I saw Daria's video on it earlier this year, last year, where she was talking about it.
Is it Crystallis or Crystallis?
I've never had a dog in this fight. I've just always preferred calling it Crystallis.
I do a series on my channel called Gaming Linguistics, and it's basically like trying to figure out how to pronounce things. And despite the fact that I learned a lot about certain things that, you know, in gaming that I didn't know how to pronounce previously, there are some things that like I refuse to pronounce like correctly. And it's kind of the same thing with chrysalis. I either call it Crystallis or I call it chrysalis.
Is it Crystallis or Crystallis? What do you guys think?
I'm glad to see you finally found something today. Holding
I had
out.
to get something, man.
Holding out.
Well, this was the first time I've seen Crystallis today.
Yeah.
This is something I've been actively looking for.
One was $15 and one was $14. I think it was $29 for both. And I asked him, would you take $25 for him? He's like, no, but I'll take $5 off. So I'm like, so you'll take $24? Done. All right, well, way to negotiate.
So how often do you actually sell any of those Karate Champs or King of the Beach cartridges?
Less than when the amounts of times we get them in.
Mega Man 3 is his all-time favorite game.
Yeah, but his favorite series is Castlevania. Let's play Who Knows Miketendo better.
all right. When he gets back, that's like, all right, Miketendo, Mega Man over Castlevania.
Doc's had a pretty good selection. I thought that Doc's was pretty good, actually. For a chain store, for like a local mom and pop style chain store, it wasn't bad at all. I thought that they had a good selection. The prices were fairly decent.
So once again, this is the third time we get back. The third time we're in the car. Castlevania gets back on. You'd think you'd be like anyone else want to play. Nope. At this point, Miketendo's beating the damn game.
Are they still in business?
Prima?
Who?
Dwayne Johnson.
Dog the Bounty Hunter store.
Oh.
They're based here? Well, he grew up here, so he's got houses here. He'll do some hunting out here.
So we thankfully got dropped off by Jon, and we said goodbye to Jon and Dan. We brought all our stuff in, our suitcases and whatnot, and we went to Donovan's house.
So we're loading our stuff out. I grab all my junk. Tendo grabs all his stuff. Wes grabs most of his stuff. More on that later. And we get to the door, and we freaking meet the man himself, big freaking dick Donovan. Give him a big bro hug.
We ran into these degenerates. Jay Dubious, Dubious Gaming, Jimmy Hoppa, and Avalanche Jared.
The whole place just like reeks of marijuana, like really bad.
You know, we got ourselves in the right state of mind. I hadn't done that in several years, so already I'm like, holy shit, am I gonna piss everyone off because I'm so freaking faded?
So we kind of just like shot the shit, just, you know, chit-chatted a bit and caught up, and we ended up going to a place called Old Chicago's or Old C's.
I'm sitting next to our boy Donovan. We have Jimmy, everyone there, and then across from me is an empty seat in the table. And immediately we're all just kind of looking at it and we're like, man, where the hell's Rewind? Like, that should be Rewind's chair right there. Damn it. And like, I just wanted to take a picture of it, send a picture to our boy and be like, wish you were here, man, because we were all bummed he wasn't there.
The Multitapped crew ended up having an awesome dinner at Old Chicago where we grubbed on some deep dish pizza. Man, it was fantastic.
So I'm just asking, like, what do you recommend, Donovan? Like, just tell me what. And he's getting the pepperoni mac and cheese, which sounds amazing. So I order exactly what he's getting, and that shit comes, and oh my god, I don't know if it was just because I was in the right mindset, or if it was just the most delicious thing I've ever eaten, but that was the most bomb dinner I've had ever. It was so fucking good. It was so fucking good. Oh my god, I enjoyed it so much.
Wes and I split a pizza. Then they had this dessert, which was like a cookie thing. It was like a cookie pizza, and it was so good. It was like melts in your mouth. Like it was Bama style. It was definitely Bama style.
Man, why are we still talking about Bama style?
Yeah, we went to this place, Most Barbecue.
Most barbecues alright.
What's that?
I said most barbecues alright.
Yeah. No, it was good.
It was good. The brisket was very good.
Yeah, I got more.
I usually not nearly as flavorful. The thing that made it, honestly, Bama sauce. Bama style was where it was at, man. That right there, I feel like I would have missed out on a life experience.
That's right.
If I didn't have the Bama sauce.
I know.
Oh, that was the tastiest combination.
So Dubious brought Lucius, Miketendo, and I back to our hotel room where we were pretty much spent. But that didn't stop Lucius and I from staying up to 4:30 a.m. drinking beer and playing games all night. Man, it was fun.
Sleeping Beauty over here.
So tired. So tired.
I was so exhausted.
He's snoring like a baby at 9:30, and he was just out. He was out the rest of the night. Dubious comes back, and they brought Coors. They didn't bring Coors Light, and I was wondering, I said Coors Light, interesting. So I'm you know what, beggars can't be choosers, so, you know, it's free beer. It's definitely, I'm appreciative of it, but it did kind of stick out, and I didn't find this out till days later, but Wes hates Coors Light. So I'm guessing that's what happened. So I said Coors Light, and Wes like, no, because Wes wanted a drink too. And so that's why we got the banquet beer instead of Coors Light. Although the banquet beer wasn't bad. I haven't really drank it that much. But we were just pounding beers, man. Pounding beers and getting cross-faded, which is my favorite type of faded. I usually don't drink after, but whatever. It was vacation. And we were just up to like 4:30 a.m. At one point in the night, after Dubious left, I think Dubious left around 2 a.m., at one point, we're just like, you know what? We should just beat Mario World, man. Let's do it! Let's beat Mario World! Woo! So we literally, around 3 a.m., start Mario World from the beginning, getting all the secrets. And we make it all the way to, like, Zone 3, and to the final castle, and finally, by that point, it's 4:30. And bear in mind, I've been up since 4 a.m. Western time, so not as much as Tendo. But still, I'd been up around 24 hours too, and I'm just like, you know, I gotta go to bed finally.
See this game right here? Awesome shooter. $10. Good deal. It's a very underrated. It was part of a series that came out in Japan. It was like budget titles, but the games are actually really good.
What about that one next to it?
I'm gonna find out. I've never seen that one before.
Bubba, we are getting some fine Colorado infused barbecue, a beef brisket, as it were.
some macaroni and cheese. Exquisite. And then top it off with a little bit of French fry action. And the barbecue sauce is actually really good.
I never played this, so I'd love to know what all the hype's about.
Shenmue? Ask Dan. Where did Dan go?
Do you like quick time events?
I don't hate them.
Lucius is asking about Shenmue.
So, it's widely considered to not be a good game, but it's very nostalgic, and it was just one of those Sega Dreamcast
Shenmue? I've heard nothing but praise about it.
Alright.
It's because it was just one of those games that came out at the time that no other game was like it.
Near, far. Near, far.
Lame.
Hey, they got
Like a prank call
they got a time walk game.
Jay Butler. I heard one time, so after one of my video games got stolen when I was a kid, my mom had me start writing my name and phone number on the back of the cartridges. And I did that on my Simon's Quest, and I ended up trading it in when I got a Genesis.
Yeah.
And I just happened to like be home from school sick one day, and I got a phone call and a kid asking for me. And he like bought my copy of Simon's Quest, and he was like calling me because he couldn't get past a part in it. And then I ended up like telling him how to get through it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is West home right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Funny
thank
thing
God.
is, both of us should have been in school that day. Like, I just happened to like be sick.
You were both skipping.
Yeah. So I like helped him get through Simon's Quest, man. It's pretty funny.
That's funny.